fond memories. As you say, it's been a long time now, so life moves on. But you take bits and pieces of where you've been along the journey of your life, and I take a big part of BBC with me, and I appreciate what it did for me, not only then but now. My name is Andrew Courtice from the class of 1978. Welcome to Brisbane Boys College Cricket, Innings 107. BBC Cricket is focused on providing all its boys with the opportunity to play, develop and enjoy the game, whilst maintaining its core values of commitment, accountability, respect and enjoyment as it aspires to be the leading GPS cricket program in Australia. BBC Cricket enters an exciting new phase in preparation for its 107th season in the GPS cricket competition. However, as we eagerly await the start of the 2025 season, we must take the time to look back at how the game of cricket helped form what we know as Brisbane Boys College today. Two prerequisites of maintaining status as a GPS school were the possession of a turf wicket and a football field. At BBC's Clayfield campus, the college had neither, prompting the Presbyterian and Methodist Schools Association to find a new location at Toowong. On Saturday the 1st of March 1930, a large crowd gathered to witness the Governor of Queensland, Sir John Goodwin, lay the foundation stone of the Brisbane Boys College at Toowong. A contemporary newspaper reported the Premier, Mr Arthur Edward Moore, perceptively noted that the laying of the foundation of such a school as the Brisbane Boys College would probably have a tremendous effect eventually on the life of Queensland.
And then we've got our student induction tomorrow, so we'll go through a bit of the stuff that we're going to talk about just at the start of training today, but it'd be great to have you guys there tomorrow.
In recent years, the Brisbane Boys College cricket program has taken some major steps in terms of developing its young playing group. Paul Woodford, Brisbane Boys College Director of Cricket, has been instrumental in future-proofing the program for years to come.
Wow, has it been already 12 months?
It really doesn't feel like that, you know. It's we've always got things happening, and you know, Arden, one of our coaches, doing some work in the off season. There's always cricket about. MSW using the fields, and just being involved with some club cricket as well. There's always things going on, mate. So it doesn't feel like it's been a big off season, but yeah, feel very rested and ready to go again.
Yeah, a few things that happened, like including the symposium. So tell me a bit about that.
Yeah, so it's something that's been in the pipeline for maybe 2-3 years now. It's the coach development space and figuring out how to create a high performing environment. I don't think there is one way of doing it, but it's something that's been a passion of mine and something that I've wanted to try and do since I've started here, and luckily we've got a pretty good relationship with Queensland Cricket. So that conversation started probably a couple of years ago, and it was something that was of interest to them and something that they wanted to add into their portfolio around coach development. So we got together and found that BBC was a fantastic place to be able to host it, with the main sort of lecture theatre, the catering staff, the classrooms, the facilities here, and something that excited Queensland Cricket quite a bit. So we ended up going with it and taking the plunge, and having John coaching with us here, it was an easy one to start with keynote speaking. And we had Andy Longley, who's been involved in the program for a couple of years now around some coach development, and he'll be involved this year as well. So he assisted with masterminding the project, and yeah, we had about 64 coaches on the site from interstate and from rural Queensland, a few Queensland cricket staff, And Queensland Cricket were fantastic with it. They provided a lot of their high performance coaching staff or their elite coaching staff to come along and run the batting program, the bowling workshop, and yeah, it was just absolutely fantastic.
You know, it's obviously a big thing.
Yeah.
Why do you think it's so important to run something like events like that?
Well, I guess this is the industry that we're in. We're trying to create a high performing environment, and firstly to provide our coaches here with the opportunity, but I think the ability to get like-minded people involved. So there were a couple of people from different sports as well, a couple of people from other GPS schools, coaches from GPS schools, AIC schools, from Queensland Cricket, from down south. So just to get together and see what's a high-performing environment look like for them. And I think for us it was giving the guys opportunity to then take that away and then try and apply it in their own space and their own context. So yeah, I think long story short, an opportunity for our coaches that will hopefully go down to the boys, which is why we're here, and creating a really cool environment for them, but also providing opportunities for coaches for further development as well, because I think that was one of the key things that Queensland Cricket have identified, that ongoing development in between that level 2 and that level 3 accreditation. So we wanted to be a little bit different, have a social side of things, and had a bit of a networking dinner and an MC come along with a few old Queensland cricketers, and yeah, it was just a fantastic weekend.
In 2024, the renovated shed and upgrades to the nets have been welcome additions to the cricket program. However, there was one significant change to not only the BBC cricket program in 2013, but many other sports played at BBC. That upgrade can be traced back to 1939. The impact of the educational and life experiences students received at Brisbane Boys College cannot be defined by time. It is often students who have only spent a short time of their schooling life at an institution that can produce generational impact to a school. John Noblet enrolled in Year 9 at Brisbane Boys College in 1939, and from the outset he was a talented young cricketer. The following year in 1940, John made the first 11 squad. Unfortunately, the impact of World War II affected his family financially, and John had to leave his friends at BBC to take on a career in banking. John remained close with many of his BBC friends, most of whom went on to graduate in 1942. Having never married or having children, John's appreciation and devotion to his beloved Brisbane Boys College was apparent when he made a notable bequest to the college upon his passing. A portion of his donation assisted in the construction of College Hall, but the vast majority went to the remodelling of what was known as Main Oval. The Oval over time had continual drainage issues, so the donation allowed for proper drainage, irrigation, resurfacing and regrassing of the Oval. In honour of John's generosity, the Oval was officially renamed Noblet Oval in 2013. Generations of boarders have played cricket at BBC in the pursuit of excellence. In 2024, the tradition of cricketers boarding at BBC continues. Blake Armstrong, one of the current first 11 opening batsmen, juggles cricket, school and life as a BBC boarder.
Do you have an advantage by being a boarder, do you think?
Yeah, I feel like I do. Obviously, I can live at the school, so I can use the facility sort of whenever I want.
Do you do that though?
Yeah, I do. I usually go to the gym and usually go down the ovals, have a bat or a bowl, or go for a run maybe. And also you got like sort of the development like off the field stuff, like communication and character and that, especially being in boarding with sort of kids your age as well. It's good for like sort of a team environment to live in a boarding house.
Boys, listen up. So for the Monday session for this term is going to be fairly short. It'll take about 30 minutes.
The evolution of cricket high performance is becoming increasingly more prevalent in high school sports. In the quest for a GPS cricket premiership, Brisbane Boys College Cricket is looking at different ways to incrementally increase their competitive advantage in the modern day game.
For additional range between the laptop and that.
Explain to me the use of the GPS. How does that sort of like relate to what you do with getting these players to perform better?
Yeah, so we're using it for the first time with our cricket squads just to get an understanding of the load. So the running, the sprints, the accelerations, the decels, the total distance that they actually do in training, but also in a game. There's not a lot of research in around youth and junior cricket. And with that information, we can then help talk to the boys about why this is important to do the gym, the fitness, the speed training, but also helps inform our training with what we do with them both now and in the future. So if we see, well, actually our fast bowlers are doing more than we thought, we need to get them fitter, stronger, faster. Or certain players aren't hitting certain metrics, we can now objectively say, hey, Johnny, you need to do more of this, and this is when you're going to do it, this is how you're going to do it. Because you need to do it in the game, and you're not hitting those metrics just yet.
Stu, how's it going?
Good, mate. Yours stuff.
Yeah.
What was interesting was looking at the session across the week. So that's your data from Tuesday and Thursday in the nets. Very consistent.
Which one? There you go, Barry.
Griff.
What are you after?
2 sausages.
The BBC cricket program has always been an important part of its students' co-curricular life at school. However, it is equally an important way that teachers have been able to connect with students they would normally not encounter within the classroom environment. Teachers at BBC have always valued the time they had as coaches in all our sports offered at the school, none more so than Chikri Maksud, bringing the same care and encouragement he demonstrated in the classroom to BBC cricket as he coached.
Today we're playing a game called the Achievers 11 against the Staff 11. So that's in memory of Chikri Maksud, who spent a lot of time putting his time into the cricket program, and he wasn't at the top level of coaching. He was more around the developmental stage and the participation, which is a massive part of our program as well. So the Achievers are students who've demonstrated the values that I've discussed before the most in their team. We have a lot of students who do that, but the coaches put forward a suggestion, and then I create an Achievers 11, well, Achievers 12. We have a little bit of fun today. So it's a great opportunity for their season to be showcased and them to be put on that stage there. We have students from year 5 up to year 12 playing. And we also have staff who aren't necessarily involved in cricket, so it's an opportunity to show them, what we're doing in the program, and the staff have a great time. And then there comes the parents and the other students to come down. So Alan Sheila, who runs Amnesty, has just been a big part of it. He's running the barbecue, he's been doing it all day, he's been toiling hard up there, and it's a chance to raise money as well, raise funds.
Is it going already?
Still going, mate. It's been going from lunch, and we'll be going this afternoon. Exactly. So we'll sort you out with some free snacks, mate.